Three, two, one. What's going on, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. Tonight, I have a very special guest, another blast from the past. Christene is in the building. How you doing, Christene?
I am well. How are you, Jan? I'm so excited to be on your podcast, and it is pretty cool that you reached out and that you remembered me. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if that's just me, but I mean, a lot of people ask me how I remember people or events and stuff, and it sticks to me. Like I feel like everyone's kind of a part of my experience in life, so it's only right that I stay connected. I don't know about you, but that's how I kind of feel about it. But yeah, thank you for coming on. Thank you for your time. I know not everybody's comfortable, being on this platform, so it means a lot for you to come on. For the folks out there unfamiliar with the flow of the show, we do some intro questions just to set the tone. If you've never seen an episode before, I think you'll get the tone from these warm-up questions. Have a couple icebreakers as well, for a little bit of fun before we get started, and then we jump into the interview where you choose a number between 1 and 34. And sound good to you, Christene?
Yep, that sounds great.
All right. So my very first question is, how have you been? It's been a pretty bananas year. So you been doing well? You been going through it? How you been?
Yeah, that question we get asked a lot, and sometimes I don't know where to start. And I think today I want to share that I am Overall, I am doing well. I think that this past year has taught me many, many lessons, and I took the opportunity to really focus on me and start healing from within.
That's what's up. What would you say was probably maybe one of your greatest highlights of I guess this past year? I feel like this past year is a particular time in our lives that I think everyone kind of shared this experience of having either more time or really focusing on what's important to them in their lives. So was there any particular highlight of that time for you?
Yeah, there are so many.
Okay, that's good.
Would say, which one do I say? Which one do I share? One particular highlight that I am super proud of and is still a work in progress is I am jumping into this entrepreneurship journey of creating a business that I am comfortable with, going at a pace that I am comfortable with, and just really allowing me to learn as I do. And I love everything that I've done so far. It is challenging as heck, but I think that it has provided a lot of what I've just been itching to do, right? So what I'm particularly talking about is I'm starting my own coaching business, and it is called Lead with Joy Coaching. And so Lead with Joy, part of my first name is Christene Joy, but a lot of people just know me as Christene. And for a long time, all my life, actually, I never used the word joy or the name joy. And it has just been a realization that that is part of who I am. I have heard folks say that I bring joy to their lives, and I think it's about time that I acknowledge that part of me. And I've also just created that as an acronym. Joy meaning just own yourself. And I think for me, that just means knowing who you are, feeling grounded, and just starting from within, and then everything else will, hopefully fall into place. But just knowing who you are, there's just that special piece.
No doubt.
Yeah.
That sounds exciting. Oh man, a business and coaching. Is there any specific kind of coaching, or is it just open to any maybe support people need out there?
Yeah, Jan, that is a really great question. I'm still trying to nail who what my niche is, but at this point, it is open doors for all. I think interactions, similar to you, any connection is a special connection to me, and as soon as we start talking, then I think we'll know the vibe and whether I can support that person or not. But I definitely don't want to close the doors and just call it a thing. I just want to be able to connect with others and spread the word as much as I can for now.
No,
yep.
I hear you. I've also tried to start a business a couple years back. Well, I can't even call it that because I'm not a business-minded person, and I wasn't looking at it like purely by numbers and everything. So yeah, it was a project I was working on, and people ask me all the time, like, "Oh, who's your audience?" It was for a clothing brand called Hella Hungry, which is it's still there, but I haven't invested a lot of time into it recently, but yeah, so a lot of people ask me, who are you going for? What kind of people are you trying to attract with this? And I could never answer that. I was like, it's for everybody. Like, everybody can relate to this product, this message. And that was one of my, I guess, downfalls or faults when it came to starting a business. But yeah, so I guess that's something I learned. And then even with this podcast, it's like, I feel you on trying to find your niche, because I know this isn't for everybody, but I think it is good. It will be there for people who do, dig their show. So still trying to figure that out for myself too. But yeah,
I will say though that I'm creating a space for myself where I'm at least naming that I'm an alignment success coach. So I know that was a lot of words in there, but really alignment comes with a personal story, and I guess I could share it here, which I'm excited to share. So I don't know about you, Jan, but when we used to work together in the past, I don't know if I shared this personal fact that I have scoliosis.
Yes, I do remember.
Oh, awesome. So I had a major back surgery when I was 11 years old. And scoliosis, for those who don't know, is just like a curvature of the spine, but a little bit more extreme. And at a young age, I found out that I had scoliosis, and it was past the point of just having the preventative measure of wearing a brace. So I had to undergo surgery. I have 2 titanium rods. I have 7 titanium screws in my spine, and I am not ever going to be 100% straight. But I am aligned, right? I am here. I am living the world as I know it. And so I think for me, there will never be that perfect moment of being straight and aligned,
Yeah.
But there are always going to be something that comes up and that gets in your way. And how do we better align ourselves to be okay with that and move forward with that? So that's why, alignment success just feels right to me.
Yeah, no. I think it's even better when you have it like really connect with your story. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited for you. Keep doing your thing. I'll definitely be checking in with you, see how it's going.
Cool.
So let's jump into a couple icebreakers before we keep rolling. So the first one is a 1-word spelling bee. Is that something you're open to? Or if you're not, that's fine too. It's been what I've been doing. So yeah, would you like to participate, or you could pass if you'd like?
That is so funny. I'm down.
All right, for sure. Your word is going to be amateur. I get this one wrong all the time.
Okay. Amateur. AMATEUR.
Oh, you got it right. Nice. That's I usually get the E and the U mixed up. I don't know why, but that's what's up. All right, you got the first one, and then the second one is a riddle. So, are you down with riddles?
I'm not very good, but I'm down to hear it. And
okay, You have 60 seconds. I want to see if this timer works real quick. It should pop up. You see that timer on your screen?
Yes, I do.
All right. So as soon as I'm done saying the riddle, I will press that timer. And it is, what has a head, a tail, is brown, and has no legs?
So it's brown, it has a tail, it has a head, but no legs?
Yeah, head, tail, brown, no legs. I think you'd be kind of mad. Right as I was saying, I was like, man, I need to pick better riddles.
Oh, gosh. I mean, I don't know.
For sure. You throwing in the towel?
I am, because I just don't want to.
Okay, I got you.
In silence.
It is a penny. It has a head, it has a tail. It's brown with no legs. I know. And as I was reading it, I was like, oh, this wasn't the strongest one. I could have used another one. My apologies.
That's copper. That's copper.
Be more specific, right? Because when I read that, I'm like, that could be really anything. That could be a whole lot of things. But
yeah.
Well, for sure. Thank you for participating. And let's jump into some more warm-up questions. This next one is, what would you like the audience to know about you? I guess you kind of mentioned a little bit, but if there's anything else, as far as your personality and, or where you're coming from.
Sure. Let's see. Where do I start? I am from San Diego. Let's just start from there. Born and raised in San Diego, and did all my education there from preschool up until college. I'm actually repping my college right now, UCSD. Go Tritons. And pretty much after I graduated college, I decided that I needed a different scenery. I've also just been a commuter, so I never experienced that moving away part of that college experience. So I decided to move to the Bay Area. And it is going to be 10 years since I've lived here, which is also insane because I just can't believe it's been 10 years since I moved away from home. So I want to share that. I call San Diego home, and I also call the Bay Area home. I am a recent mom and a wife, approaching 2 years for both of those different roles. And it just has been amazing to see myself grow in both of those roles. And I think personality-wise, I don't know, I'm pretty open. I would like to say that I have some sort of humor, or maybe my awkwardness is that leads to that, but I'm also owning that part of me, which I love.
Oh yeah. I mean, awkward moments are super fun, actually.
Yeah.
If you can embrace it. If you're trying to like fight against it, it just keeps getting worse. But
right.
I know that feeling. So a new mom. Do you mind sharing, what would be, do you feel like you've changed, like from not being a mom to becoming a mom? Is there anything that you kind of grew into, I guess?
Yes, a lot. I grew into myself. That is such a broad answer. But, when people compliment you and you can't really see it for yourself, or you don't really feel, or you just don't own that compliment all the way through.
Yeah, it feels awkward sometimes, right? It's like,
it feels like, why are you shining so much love on me? Or why are you loving me this way? And it really wasn't until I became a mom, and maybe the pandemic helped too, but it was like, oh, there's something about parenthood and motherhood that you see your child go through their own development, and there's this like special type of love. And when I want to compliment him, I want him to own it, right? And I want him to understand, like, I am so proud of you for recognizing that letter or for making that animal sound. And it made me reflect on myself when someone were to applaud me for the projects that I do at work or anything of that sort. It's just like, I never really owned it 100%, but now I am. And it just feels so empowering. And I think it's great. And that's something that I've grown into, if that answers your question.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy revelation. I think a lot of people out there have problems with accepting compliments or, just anything nice people say about them. It almost feels like, oh yeah, like you said, why are you loving me this way? Like I don't like it. And so yeah, I guess, parenthood just making you realize like, wow, like that's because you want that person to feel it so much, and you just hope that because how you are yourself, it's like, damn, like I hope they really understand and not try to like fight against this. So that's a trip. Not something I've experienced myself yet, but yeah, I could see it having the same effect on me, probably, most likely.
Yep. Yeah,
for sure. My second question for you in the warm-up is, if someone were to pay you a tribute, how would you like to be honored? So if I was gonna honor Christene today, what could I do? What kind of act could I do?
Are you asking like what I would be honored for, or how I want to be honored?
How you would like to be honored?
Ooh.
Like, yeah, I had a guest say, if someone could just create a wall of quotes that I did or whatever, and like have everybody kind of write their favorite quote from me. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then other people are like, oh, just do something nice. But what would you like the people to do for you?
Wow. I'd like a dope ass party. I'd like a party where all the people in my life that hopefully I've impacted are there, and maybe they can have like 10 to 15 seconds to really share how much I've contributed to their life, because now I can receive the love, but also I just really want people to have a dope ass time. So it's just like, everyone just have a few seconds, you can say something nice about me, but we're really here as a community, and I'm just really down to have casual conversations throughout the party.
That's what's up. Definitely gonna try to. That's gonna be hard because I feel like that party's gonna be kind of big, right? And
whoa.
Hey, yo, if you're gonna get into coaching, you're about to be affecting a lot of people's lives. So be prepared. But yeah.
But it's about to feel like a college party, but without the craziness, I guess. Just like a little bit more refined.
I got you. I'll hopefully, I can help be a part of, creating that, if anything. All right. And my last question of the warm-up is, on a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you know yourself?
I want to say right now an 8.
Okay.
And if it was a 10, I feel like my life would be over, and there's just so much growing to do, and I'm just excited to experience what comes next. So I think, that question is allowing me to say that I'm an 8, because I'm at this point where I'm feeling a lot more safe in my body and confident in what I am valuing and what I stand for, and not quite a 9 because I think that there's still a little bit more healing to go, but never a 10 because that would just mean I hit perfection.
I see. Yeah. And you know, the crazy thing is I had a guest come on and they mentioned how no one will ever be a 10 because one part of knowing yourself is knowing how others perceive you, and that's one thing we'll never really know, no matter how hard we try to figure that out. But yeah, so yeah, I think 10 is impossible, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just always curious about how people kind of, you know, take that question and how they reflect on it. Personally, for me, I say I'm a 5. I like to give equal parts of knowing and not knowing, and I think that's just where I'm at in my life for sure too, because I say at the highest of highs, I feel like I know myself the most, and at the lowest of lows, I kind of feel like I don't know who I am, and I think that just comes with the different stages in life. But yeah. What would you? I know you mentioned like humor being a part of your personality earlier. Would you say your favorite part of your personality, or is there another thing that you particularly like? Yeah, that's me. You know.
Yeah. It's funny, I'm just glancing off to the side because I do have some words that describe me through different like character traits test and the strengths finders test, and I've gone through some programs too in the past where other folks were also reflecting on who I am as an individual. And as I stare out into this list of words, I just feel like I'm a nurturer, if that makes any sense. I like to nurture relationships. I just also value people feeling heard and seen, and I think that's the reason why I am still in education and why I am continuing this journey of being a coach, because I just really want to get to know folks and see where I can support. It's never me telling them what to do. I just really want to know like, what is it about myself that can be part of your puzzle, and how I can kind of elevate the way you are. So just nourishing.
Yeah.
And nurturing. Yeah.
Would you say that's always been a part of you, or like since you were like a kid and growing up, or was that something you kind of realized a little further down the road for yourself?
Realized later in life, but has always been a part of me because I am the oldest of 3. I have 2 younger brothers, and it's basically like their second mom because my parents worked very hard growing up, and they still continue to do that, and we just grew up very close. They're my best friends. For sure.
All right, well, we made it to the main portion of the interview where you start picking numbers. Whenever I have to make this statement, I always say it's your turn to pick questions, and I'm like, oh damn it, it's supposed to say numbers. I'm glad I got it right that time. But yeah. And there are 3 levels: easy, medium, hard. Where would you like to start, and what's your number?
Oh gosh, let's just take it step by step. So let's go with easy. And any number between 1 to 34?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
22.
22. What is the greatest gift you've ever received?
What is the greatest gift I've ever received? Like physically, or?
Yeah, I feel you, because you know, I'm sure your child is the greatest gift you've ever received. But let's say a gift that was kind of like given at an occasion, you know, a birthday or holiday.
I apologize to folks who have actually given me something and I just don't remember.
Ooh, I feel you. My bad. Not the intention. Not the intention.
The greatest gift that I've ever received would be, gosh, Jan, this is really hard.
You could pass too if it's is.
This is an easy question too.
Yeah, it is. It's subjective though, it's just the questions that I thought was easy to answer, but.
You're right. I can't really think of anything. Honestly, the only thing that's crossing my mind is the most recent awesome gift that I received.
Okay.
But I can't think throughout my whole life like which is the greatest. Like I just feel like a lot of pressure.
I think that just means a lot of them are great. That's what I think it means.
I'm gonna go with that. Yeah. I can share it with you. It's just one of my best friends from college gave me like surprise mail, and it's basically a 5-minute timer.
Oh, that's sick.
You flip it and it says check in with yourself, and then the other side says take time to breathe. And I'm in front of my computer a lot. And when I look at that, I'm like, okay, I think it's time to just take 5 minutes, right? And breathe, check in. And I think it was the most thoughtful gift that I've received recently. So grateful for it.
Yeah, that's sick. I really like how you said it and you were just like, boom, got it right here. And I was like, oh shit. That's dope. I'm gonna Google that because I think there's some people that I could give them to that they would appreciate it. That's pretty cool. You still work with the youth? Is that something you still do, or?
I do, yeah.
For sure. Mm-hmm. I'm actually just getting back into it. In a couple of weeks now, I'm gonna start orientation for this new job working with the youth again. And
oh my God,
I'm so excited. Yeah, thank you. I'm excited but scared at the same time, because my last youth job was maybe 3 years ago now, and I had left because I chased the money, and was not happier, without the kids. So now I'm excited to get back. I'm scared that I'm not going to be able to build the same relationships or the same connection with the kids that I had before. Mm-hmm. What advice do you have for me for trying to do that?
Gosh, you gotta just stay true to who you are, because I think there are going to be some youths out there who are curious about, the type of music you listen to back in early 2000s, and they're going to be like, yo, my cousin plays that, or my uncle plays that, or, someone older in their life. And you're going to be like, yeah, I have a playlist ready to go if you're down, And that's how we stay relevant. We stay true to who we are and share how we grew up and all the great things that we enjoyed in our childhood. And for those, you're not going to please all the youth, but for those who are interested in getting to know a particular mentor or adult in their life, they're gonna really see that. And I think you have a lot to share, Jan.
I hope so. And yeah, I am definitely excited because the experience that I had, even when we were at Smash, and I interviewed I don't know if you remember Robert Zuniga. I think that's.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
yes.
He came on the podcast, and his episode's coming out in June. If you want to check that out.
No way.
Yeah, he's on here. But yeah, with him and just being able to reconnect with him, just be like, hey man, you remember, how I viewed you and how you viewed me back then, and now we're just both adults living our lives. I love that reconnection as well. But yeah, I think thank you for your advice. It's something that I think will help me focus on really just I keep keeping with my approach. I am pretty like, I don't know if transparent is the right word, but I try to stay true to myself, and I think you're right. Kids will definitely know if you're being fake or not. It's just something that, and they're not afraid to call you out on it either. So, why even try sometimes? But what would you say is your favorite part of working with the youth?
The transformations, even if it's small and tiny to them, I think it's huge to me. So if it's just like a tiny shift of, I've reached out to a kid via text 30 times and they finally respond the 31st time, it's like, that was a huge win, because you must be reading all my shit, but there was one emoji more that I added to this message, and you're like, I'm gonna finally respond. Or maybe it was just my determination to try to still connect with the student. And when we start connecting, I think like it just goes to show that the conversation just doesn't end in the text. Like there's just so much more that I want to know and how you're doing. And so it's the transformations, I guess it's overall amazing to me. I think I also, I've worked with college students in the past. I've worked with high school students, and currently working with high school students now and mentors. And what's really great right now is graduation is literally a week away, and a lot of the students that I am working with are graduating, and they're going to be going into their own pathways. So I have a particular student who is going to just decide on a gap year. I have another student who is going to go into the military. I have another student who is just needs a little bit more recovery credit. And there's a lot of students who are going to community college and 4-year universities. And I think just being able to let them know that wherever you are is great. There's no need to feel shame about not being there or here. It's like really owning again, like, it's okay where I'm at, because it's just been a rough year overall also. So having them own that is also a huge transformation, I believe. And
would you say it's harder for kids to like not feel bad or compare themselves? Because when we were, I guess, when we were like growing up and we were applying for schools and stuff, we didn't have as much of like technology or social media presence, being a part of our lives. And now these kids, like even more so, are comparing themselves to each other. And because you had mentioned about reminding them that it's okay to be where they are, and like whatever path they're on, they don't need to be concerned about what other people in their age group are doing. Do you see that of more of an issue now, like working with the youth that you do work with?
I feel like I can answer this in two ways, but my gut feeling, and from what I've observed, I think students now, and maybe this is the optimistic side of me, can sense that students nowadays are a lot more aware. They are open, they are open-minded, they have gone through just tremendous and traumatic events during these past few months, maybe even few years. They're growing at a time where technology has just elevated, and I think that they're living the life that we couldn't even, maybe we imagined it, but they're actually living it, and what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is, if you're in a positive headspace, if you believe that you can do right and that you believe in your passions and your values, it doesn't really matter what other people think of you or what people are saying about you, you know. But if you're in this place where it's still, you know, you're kind of in a negative headspace or just feeling low, then it's easy to worry. It's easy to worry about what other people are thinking about. And it's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. So I think for me, it's all about the mindset. It's all about how can we shift and also normalize that we are going to experience the lows of the lows and the highs of the highs. But how do we, again, gosh, I think I'm plugging in my coaching thing here, but how do we stay grounded with who we are and how we've experienced life up until this point? And can we own it? And if we can't, how do we just reflect back a little bit and just be okay with, there are resources out there, right? There are people you can talk to bring you back to that place of safety and groundedness, and then we can move forward. You're not going to always move forward all the time. It's not always linear, right? It's always just going to be tumbleweed, just going around in circles. But yeah.
No, for sure. I think you answered it. Go ahead and throw me another number.
Let's go with 3.
Same. Still easy?
Oh. Yes.
No worries. Who do you have major respect for? It doesn't have to be just one person. It could be a particular group of people. I had someone come on and tell me they had major respect for kids in general. So, how about for yourself?
I have major respect for all the people who are first. So let me elaborate a little bit.
For sure.
First in their family to attend college. First in their family to even graduate high school. First in their family to be born. I'm the oldest, right? First in their family to land a professional gig or a job. First in their family to seek therapy, to seek coaching, to ask for support that their parents never had access to. First time entrepreneurs, first time podcast hosts, first, just everyone. I feel like people can relate to this. There's always just going to be a first time for folks, and but just a huge shout out for those who are truly the first in their family to do something that's different and something that was never really modeled for them, because that shit's scary. Right?
Yeah, I never even really thought about that. I guess one thing that does relate to that I've thought about is not having a mentor, and where do people get mentors? For whatever particular skill or career path they're going to. For me, this podcast, and I didn't even trip off that. You're saying, you're modeling something for your family in a sense too, right? There's gonna be hopefully my nephews and nieces. They were like, oh shoot, I kind of want to do that. I could ask my uncle how to do that. But yeah, so it just made me think about that. That's one thing for me. I don't know if you have the answer to that. Where does one find a mentor if they're searching for one?
I don't know where to start. Well, let me back up. I think these days it could be slightly easier than if I'm thinking back to when I was a youth and how do I find a mentor? It's no fucking clue. But I could imagine at least now there is social media outlets out there. There's Instagram, there's LinkedIn, there is just a simple ask of, the teachers in your lives, the staff who you work with, and just like really utilizing your social capital with what you know and just starting there. And I think like when you ask a particular person, they're going to know like 5 people, and then those 5 people are going to know more. So it just starts with asking.
Yeah, that's a trip though. That's a really big first step too. People can always doubt themselves or just play out scenarios and discourage themselves from even, wanting to ask. So if you're out there, don't be afraid to ask. You never know. And I'm one of those. I'm talking to myself right now. But yeah.
Me too. I'm just talking, but sometimes I don't walk the talk. So
it's a difficult thing, but I think it also marks kind of like what's in your mind. If it's true or pure, like it's on your mind. So I think it's just a matter of time for a lot of folks out there. So pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw you a curveball right now. I don't know I don't think you've looked at the document. So there are a couple curveballs, which is a fill in the blank, and your fill in the blank is life is all about blank.
The first thing that came to mind was beauty.
Okay.
And I think because I was stuck on a quote that instantly popped into my head where life is beautiful, but for some reason that was like, I wanted to fill in the blank with beauty. Can you read it out loud then? If I just...
Life is all about beauty.
That sounds so superficial.
I was gonna say, like, elaborate.
Yeah. Well,
or you could, switch it up. Don't feel like you got it.
Now I feel like I have to come correct and be like, what the hell, Christine?
I think it makes sense when you're saying the phrase "life is beautiful" came to mind. Yeah, I think it was just different tracks. Different tracks, yeah.
Also, side note, this is where my true personality comes out, where I think I'll just say shit and I'm like, oh my God, where did that come from? I need to explain myself.
I'm glad you're comfortable enough to be yourself. Yeah.
I'm abstract, and sometimes people are like, that was far-fetched, Christine.
Oh.
So anyway, life is beautiful is a quote that was my tagline, oh my gosh, on Tumblr like years ago.
Shout out Tumblr. I mean, I think people are still using it.
Right?
Yeah, they have to be. It's still out there. Maybe I need to start one for the podcast. Maybe that's where it's gonna take off. People gonna not sure.
Right? Maybe the youth are on there again. I don't know. They're bringing it back and calling it a throwback. I don't know. But yeah, that was my tagline for a long time, and there's I see that thrown out from time to time. There's beautiful art pieces that just make that a visual for folks. And for me, during my hardest transitions, especially moving away from home, I felt like that grounded me. Like no matter how hard life was, or just trying to figure out what my next move was going to be, I always just told myself life is beautiful, and like no matter what shows up next, like you'll be able to get through it. It won't feel good sometimes, but the outcome will be what it should be. And I think that's fucking beautiful, right? So yeah, I hope that explains why I chose that word.
For sure. Yeah. No worries. Let's go ahead and get a couple numbers in. Still staying on easy mode, or?
We can move up to medium.
Medium, for sure. Go ahead. You could choose the same numbers. They're going to be different questions, or you could go with different numbers as well.
We'll go with 8.
8. If you could take back one mistake, what would it be?
If you could take back one mistake, what would it be? If I could take back a moment where I really just gave my whole self without thinking about myself first to someone, I would definitely take that back, because damn girl, like, it's not worth it, you know?
I got you.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's just so many mistakes, and me thinking about, like, I was actually like, what would I take back? And there's just too many. But yeah, I feel you.
Life is beautiful, Jen.
Oh, it is, and we wouldn't know beauty unless we knew the ugly parts too. So
yep.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. I know it's not always easy, but go ahead and throw me another number.
Let's go with 28.
28. When was the last time you stepped outside your comfort zone?
Today.
Oh yeah. For sure. If that's a daily thing, that's great.
Yeah, I would say, yeah. I mean, I think because I'm starting something new for myself, it's like every day I'm trying to push myself to explore different ways to mobilize myself, and that is so out of my comfort zone, because it's the first time for me to try something different. So yeah.
For sure. What would you say has been like the toughest thing for you as far as starting a new business? I know what was hard for me, but I'm curious what you think has been the most difficult thing.
The real?
The real?
There is a part of me that says, you got this. You can do this. I believe in you. But then there's this piece too where I really still want people to hold my hand and guide me through. And I think like it's so much easier when someone is just holding your hand and telling you the next step. But truth be told, in the entrepreneurial world, no one is gonna hold your hand all the way through. Maybe they'll like guide you and like lend out their hand, but it's pretty much up to you. And it's hard. I think I'm strengthening that muscle and figuring that out. But I think for a while I'm just like, who can I lean on? Who can I ask to just like tell me what's next, right? But that is the beauty of entrepreneurship, is that you get to decide what is next. And it's uncomfortable because sometimes I'm not confident with what I think should be next. And so when someone tells you what to do, it's like, oh yeah, I got you. I can do that.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, keeping yourself accountable as an entrepreneur, doing it solo is like, you have to have some kind of special drive. I think you have to be in the right mindset, because I could never figure it out. For myself, for me with Hella Hungry, the biggest thing for me was I was afraid to build a team. We're in different industries and different products that we give and services, but I know for a clothing brand, you might want to start with a team and have people, doing different departments. And I could never feel comfortable, one, asking for help, and then two, being responsible for other people's time and effort. It was always like, I don't want to be, if I don't make it, that means nobody makes it, and I didn't like that pressure. I don't think I could handle it. So yeah, I mean, that's something I feel like I need to either grow into or find those skills to feel confident before I really like take the next steps with Hella Hungry. But yeah, and I know it could be the experience is it's crazy.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
But I think what's great is that you have a foundation. You have it started, and now it's just like tweaking or, kind of filling in the gaps of what you were missing before, which I think is dope. So it's like offering yourself a second chance.
I like that. I'll keep that in mind. And yeah, that's one of the things, like, even now people ask me, oh, what's going on with it? We haven't seen anything new. You haven't been doing anything. And I'm like, honestly, it's like I'm taking a step back, a little break, and it's still there. Like, everybody wants to support, it's still there. It's just that, I'm focused on this right now, and I'm hoping I can kind of bridge the gap between the both of them eventually. But yeah, we'll see. Just want to say we have about 10-15 minutes left in the podcast. I want to thank you again for coming on. I hope you're having fun. It's been a great conversation for me. So yeah,
I'm having a blast. Thanks, Jen.
No problem. Go ahead and throw me another number.
We will go with the number 11.
Number 11. So this could be kind of hard to understand, maybe. But it is, when did your stream of consciousness begin? So like for me, I would say when I was 12, something like a switch changed, and all of a sudden I became kind of conscious about, my purpose in life and like, what am I gonna do? Or yeah, that's and then it's kind of stuck with me. Like now, from there to now, it's like I've been having the same voice in my head. But yeah, I don't know if that relates to you. Some people don't have that voice, and I'm like, damn, for real? Like, wish I could be like that.
Oh, wow. Again, it's hard to, nothing comes up in my early childhood, and I would have to say college was really when, maybe that like voice of like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on.
I'm still here. Like, if you see the other little box window, my other camera froze on me. So feel free. I know it looks kind of funny right now.
I see you, Jen. It's all good. But yeah, I would say college. I can't tell you what moment or what moment in college, but that chapter in my life was eye-opening for me. For sure.
I'm so sorry. I'm like distracted because this thing is happening. I was gonna try to play it off like, oh yeah, I know exactly what you said. So you had talked about college. Do you mind if I try to fix this real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Terrible.
Go for it.
We'll pick up where we left off. I'm just trying to figure out what happened. I hope it's nothing too bad, because this is the first time it's kind of happened.
What's funny is, like, I'm not really I'm starting to be more attuned to astrology, but they're saying something like, what is it? Mercury retrograde starts today.
Yo, so I remember there was even a meme about that, like Mercury retrograde, and how everyone kind of like points to that as like why they kind of messed up or something good didn't happen. What does that mean? Like, if you could explain that.
I mean, I don't want to butcher and throw that field into.
Oh, I got you.
But
yeah.
From what I understand, Mercury retrograde is like something that you can blame for technology issues or. Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. So
okay.
let's just blame it on that.
For sure. I'm with that because I really didn't anticipate this from happening. We'll just roll like this till the end. Man, I'm not used to this angle as much as I am the other angle. It's all good. Yeah, let me see. Where were we? You remember? Because that
stream of consciousness.
Yes, and you said college. That's when it kind of happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For sure. What would you say was like, I don't know for you, I feel like we've had this conversation before, but I was not prepared for college when I came in, and I was kind of like, yes. From your reaction, I could kind of see, you had maybe a similar experience, but yeah, why do you think like we were pressured into that, to just like, oh, you should go right now and you'll figure it out kind of a mentality back then?
I continue to shake my head because I think that's like part of the immigrant story of having parents that came here from another country, and that's all they knew. It was like, you gotta go to college. There was no other option. And it was the land, they immigrated, or for me, they immigrated from the Philippines, and so they were educated there too. And also note that the Philippines were colonized by the US and other countries too. And so it was like, all right, this is what we know. We're going to continue this trend as we immigrate to the US. And so it was just a plan for me to be something in the medical field or, to go to college and to be the best that you can be. And that's all we knew, right, Jan? So,
yeah.
I'm not upset at the experience, but I am just realizing that as I grow older and I continue to serve students and the youth on being confident about their pathway, like, we're norming the fact that they can choose where they want to go. And I think that's freaking beautiful and awesome. But, in our generation, it was just like, you got the good grades, you got to go to college.
Yeah, you gotta make it worth it. You gotta. Yeah. No, it's a trip, and I have like, you mentioned just that immigrant story, and it's something I've had that conversation with my parents, and I told them what my experience in college was like, and how I kind of wish that I knew what I was doing before I got in. That's, I guess, a selfish way to look at it. It's based from my perspective and, what it meant to me to go to college and have that experience. But then from my parents' side, I also knew it was like something I was doing for them too. Like a part of me was like, they never got that education, and there's something they instilled in me a lot growing up was like, good grades is everything. You need to, get that scholarship and get that degree. And so having that message all my life was like, all right, I have to do this no matter what, and even if I'm not sure, I just gotta finish for them. And like the experience, I'm not knocking the experience at all. It's just that I just wish I was mature enough to kind of understand the opportunity I had, because now it's like, damn, if I had it back, I would have probably taking advantage of the time and just the resources. College is crazy for resources. They're throwing it at you, you know, like you need internships, you need jobs, you need training, you need whatever. They're like, it's all there in one place. So yeah. No, I feel you.
I mean, yeah, this conversation just gets me like, but I do want to also say too that in our generation, there was a lack of access for folks. You know, it's either you knew about the system or you didn't. And if you didn't, they'll tell you the bare minimum, and it all sounds great. So then that is the choice, and that is the path that you continue to go forth with. And like I said, reflecting to the work that I do now, it's like there is access, or we create avenues of access to share our experiences and to share what mentorship is like and to share like how it was in the past. And now students are more aware of, oh, this is a potential pitfall that I can fall in, or wow, this sounds great. And this option sounds great. So it's like, now I can compare. But you and I just didn't have that.
And now we know, and now we can provide
now
it, right?
We know.
Yeah. I think, you know, if we look at it that way, then we know that we do have a role to play, and we did learn something that's valuable to pass on for sure. And we can speak from it from firsthand experience, so it's not like we're lying about it. But,
right?
Yeah.
Which is why I'm excited for you to go back to working with the youth. I think like that's you're going to be the wise man that is speaking to the youth, and they're going to be like, wow, there's a lot of wisdom behind that.
You know, it comes with time and experience, and you know, kids are wise too in their own way. That's something I learned, and you know, kind of had. I'm sure you know, they'll sometimes break it down to you in like just a fresh sense and like a different perspective. But we made it to the concluding portion of the podcast. I got a few closeout questions for you. This next one is from my previous guest. Shout out to Maxi for your question, man. His question for you is, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I gotta do some math in my head.
For sure.
10 years. Wow. I see myself living in a home that my family and I can call our own. Possibly in addition to the family.
I mean, 10 years is a lot of time. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. People take it slow these days. So,
I feel that.
Yeah, and just really doing the things that I absolutely love and feel hella confident in, and sharing my superpower with everybody. But I'd like to vacation more. I'd love to really provide more for my parents. As you know, 10 years from now too, they'll be 10 years older, and I want to be able to give back in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you on that. I still stay with my folks, so I'm fortunate to have that time with them and spend time with them. I just wish I could take care of them more than we take care of each other. I was saying that, but yeah, I just really want them to relax and kind of enjoy retirement and their lives, you know, especially if you feel like they've given so much and they've worked so hard for you. But for sure. And are you gonna be California still? Because California is gonna be super like expensive and kind of hard to stay into, you know.
Who knows? I mean, that part too. I think in 10 years, hopefully we'll have a place in San Diego, and maybe we can also have a place up here to call home. And yeah, but it's still in California. I don't know about other places, but I don't want to close the door on that. Who knows?
I got you. And then my next question is, what would you like to ask the next guest that comes on to 34 questions?
What do you want to be known for?
Okay. Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, I can be a little bit more specific. What do you want to be known for within the next year?
Damn. All right. That's like giving yourself a hard deadline. Because yeah, if I think about what I want to be known for the rest of my life versus what I want to be known for the next year, it's I don't know if they're two different things yet. I gotta really chew on that. That's a good one though. That is a great one.
Well, that's a hard category question. We never got there, so I'm gonna serve one.
That's dope. I'm with it. And no worries. I mean, if you ever get back on the show, down the road, we can definitely hit the hard level after that.
Sounds good.
My last question for you is a question that kind of ties everything together. Is what would you like your descendants to know about you? 500 years from now, they're kind of like trying to figure out who they are, where they come from, and they're watching this video. What would you tell them?
Are they even watching videos 500 years from now?
It's gonna be like, I don't know. Well, I think the internet's gonna be out there forever. I don't know. As long as the servers are running.
Oh my gosh.
But
yeah.
It's funny, like someone told me before, it's like, are you transcribing your conversations with people? And I'm like, I'm not sure why. He's like, because if all else fails, the written word is probably going to be the thing that outlasts like technology. And I'm like, damn, you're right. And then so I have to figure out a way to kind of like transcribe all these conversations just so like, it'd be cool, like a collection of books of like, yeah, that'd be kind of bananas, but yeah.
That is the next project for you.
One day, for sure.
What would I want my descendants to know about me? That our roots are deep. I think there's 500 years before me, and I'm just continuing on this legacy by just owning who I am and continuing to, please myself by teaching and learning more about the world. And I hope to, that just reminds me, the written word, I should write more so that, if a note is hidden underground and someone finds it, hopefully it can be traced to one of my descendants and they could read it. That'd be dope.
Who knows? Yeah, I'm typing up. So one project I've done, and maybe you could find it useful or know anybody else. But I'm trying to write down every memory I can ever remember. And so far it's been kind of like the bad memories. However, once I've written it down and wrote it out, I felt like I let it go and like it doesn't cross my mind as often. And that's not something I was anticipating, but now it's just like, whoa, like it really feels great. Like it feels like, this weight, I took it out of my mind, put it on paper, and I could finally let it go. So yeah, I don't know if you tried that, but if there's anything bothering you still, like from the past, write it out. And I think it's one way to let it go, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. There is research out there that says, like, even just for studying, if you were to type it, there's a certain percentage of retention of that fact. But if you were to write it, there's a higher percentage of that fact being remembered. So similar to like you letting go of your thought and letting it dissipate, it's also like a good way to keep those study skills up. I think we rely a lot on the computer, but if you were to write down and study through paper and pencil or pen, the retention is a lot better.
For sure. Well, any last things you want to add before we head out?
Um, I also want to plug real quick, if it's cool with you, Jan.
Oh, absolutely. Go for it. Do your thing.
I also teach yoga sculpt. It is a combination of yoga and a total body movement, exercise, workout, however you want to label it. And you can check that out. Yoga is also something that I'm growing into, and is pretty foundational in my life. So you can find coaching stuff and yoga stuff all in my Instagram, and I could just link it to you, and you could.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can find those links down in the description. I'm looking this way because I think the camera's on. But you can find those links in the description whenever you guys get a chance. Christene, want to thank you for coming on again. This was a blast. Hope you come back on down the road, and we can check in about your business and your two businesses, yoga sculpting and coaching. That's crazy. You got to be multifaceted for sure. And want to thank the folks out there for listening on the streaming sites or watching on YouTube. I appreciate your time and interest as well. Reach out, reach forward. As always, much love, and we'll catch you guys next time.